Jai Mahamaya ki jai, Vishveshwari Mata ki jai. We'll go ahead and continue on chapter 9 of book 12 of the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam. Vyasa said, King Janamejaya, once of a time, on account of an evil turn of fate, the human beings, Indra did not reign on the earth for 15 years. Owing to want of rain, the famine appeared horribly, and almost all the beings lost their lives. No one could count in every house the number of dead persons. Out of hunger, people began to eat all kinds of things, horses and animals and even dead people. O king, the Brahmanas then united, and after due discussion came to the conclusion that they would go to the hermit Gama, who would be able to remove their distress. So all of them wanted to go quickly to the hermitage, and they began to say, we hear that there is no famine in the hermitage of Gautama Rishi. Various persons are running there from various quarters. Thus coming to the conclusion, they all went to his ashram with their cows and servants and relations. Some went from the east, some from the south. Thus, from various quarters, the people flocked there. Seeing the Brahmanas coming there, the Rishi Gautama bowed down to them and gave them a cordial welcome and served them with seats. When all took their seats and became calm and quiet, Gautama inquired about their welfare and the cause of their arrival. They described everything from the dire famine and their own states and expressed their deep regret. Seeing them very much distressed, the Muni gave them the word not to have any fear. He said, I am today become blessed by the arrival of you great ascetics and honorable persons like you. I am your servant. You consider all my house as yours. Be quite comfortable. Bear no uneasiness when your servant is alive. What fear do you entertain, and whom do you fear? When the demerits are transformed into good merits by the mere sight, and when you have blessed my house with the dust of your feet, then who is more blessed than me? Kindly perform your sadhyas here, jopams, and rest here with ease. Vyasa said, O king, Janamejaya, thus consoling the Brahmanas, the Rishi Gautama began to worship the Gayatri Devi, and became wrapped in devotional trance. O Devi Gayatri, obeisance to thee. Thou art the great Vidya, the mother of the Vedas, higher than the highest. You represent the mantra Om Bhur Bhuva Swa, O Mother. Thou art the state of equilibrium. Thou art the form of Hrim. Thou art Svaha and Swada. Thou groundest the desire of the bhaktas. Thou art the witness of all the three states, waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. Thou art the Satchidananda Brahma, O Devi. Thou residest in the solar orb and appearest as a ruddy girl in the morning, a youthful maiden at noon, and an old woman in the evening. O Devi, obeisance to thee. Now show favor unto them at their severe famine time, when all the beings are nigh on the way to destruction. Thus praised and worshipped, the world mother appeared and gave to Rishi one vessel, a cup full to the brim, of which everyone can be fed and nourished. The mother told the Muni, thus this full vessel given by me to you will yield whatever you wish. Thus saying, the Devi Gayatri, higher than the highest, vanished. Then, according to the wish of the Muni, came out from that cup mountains of cooked rice, various curries, sweetmeats, lots of grass and fodder, silken clothing, ornaments, various articles, and vessels for sacrificial purposes. In fact, whatever the Muni Gautama wished, that came out of the brimful cup given by the Devi Gayatri. Then the Muni Gautama called for other Munis that came there and gave them wealth, grains, clothing, ornaments, and sacrificial ladles, and spoons and cows and buffaloes for the sacrificial purposes. The Munis then assembled and performed various yagyas. The places all around then flourished and became so much prosperous that it looked like a second heaven. In fact, whatever fair and beautiful there existed in the Trilokas all came from the brimful cup given by the Devi Gayatri. At this time, the Munis, with sandal paste all over their bodies and decorated with very bright ornaments, looked like the gods, and their wives looked like goddesses. Nowhere were to be seen any diseases or any other difficulties. There was no fear amongst anything. Gradually, the ashram boundaries extended to 100 yojana. Hearing the greatness of Gautama, many people came there from various quarters, and the Muni Gautama, too, gave them words, cast away fear, and fed them. The Devas, on the other hand, became very much satisfied by the various yagyas and extolled the Muni's greatness, so much so that the famous Indra, the lord of the Devas, came to the midst of the assembly and extolled his greatness thus: "This Gautama has fulfilled all of our wishes and has verily become a kalp vriksha, celestial tree yielding all desires. If this man had not done such things in his hard famine time, we would not have been able to offer and sacrifice, and the prospect for our lives would have been at stake." Thus the Muni Gautama fed and nourished for 12 years all the Munis like sons, and that place became recognized as the chief center of the Gayatri Devi. Even to today, all the Munis perform with devotion and worship thrice daily Gayatri Devi. Even today, they're seeing a girl in the morning, a youthful maiden at noon, and an old woman in the evening. Then once on a time, Narada of best conduct came there playing on his lute and singing a tune, the highest glories of Gayatri, and took a seat in the assembly of the Munis. Seeing the tranquil-hearted Narada coming there, Gautama and the other Munis received him duly and worshipped him with the proper ceremonies. In course of conversation, he began to describe the glories of the Gautama Rishi. "O best of Munis, I have heard from the mouth of Indra in the assembly of the Devas your glories to your supporting and feeding the pure-hearted Munis, and I have come to see you. By the grace of the Sri Bhagavati Gayatri Devi, you have now become blessed. There is no doubt in this." Thus saying, Narada entered into the temple of the Devi Gayatri, and with eyes gladdened by love, saw the Devi there and offered due hymns in praise of her, and then ascended to the heavens. Here, on the other hand, the Brahmanas that were fed by Gautama became jealous at so much honor offered to Gautama, and tried their best so that no further honor be paid to him. They further settled not to stay any longer at his ashram when the next good harvest season came. "O king, some days passed when good rains fell, and there was abundance of crops everywhere, and the famine ended." Hearing this, all the Brahmins united, "Alas, O king, to curse the Rishi Gautama. Oh, their fathers and mothers, and blessed in whom do not arise such feelings of jealousy. This all is the wonderful play of the powerful time. It cannot be expressed by any person. O king, thus Brahmins created by Maya an aged cow who was about to die and pushed her into the sacrificial hall of the Muni Gautama at the time of the Homa ceremony. Seeing that the cow entering into the enclosure where the Homa was being performed, Gautama cried out, "Hum, hum," when the king fell there and died. And the other Brahmanas cried out, Look, the wicked Gautama has killed the cow." Seeing this inconceivable event, Gautama was greatly nonplussed, and completing his Homa ceremony, entered into samadhi and began to think the cause of it. Then, coming to know that this has been conceived by the Maya of the Brahmins, he became angry like Rudra in the time of disillusion. His eyes were reddened And he cursed the rishis thus. O vile Brahmanas, when you are ready to cause mischief to me unjustly, then let you be averse to meditation and to the japam of the Devi Gayatri, the mother of the Vedas. For you this act never you will be eager to perform any Vedic sacrificial acts or any action concerning thereof. Therefore, there is no doubt in this. You will always be averse to the mantra of Shiva or the tantra of Shiva. You will always be averse to the Mula Prakriti Sri Devi, to her meditation mantra, and to any conversations regarding her, to the visiting of her place of temple to do worship, and other ceremonies to her, to see the grand festival of the Devi, to sing the names and glories of the Devi, to sit before the Devi and to adore her. O vile Brahmanas, you will be always averse to see the festivals of Shiva, to worship Shiva, to wear rudraksha, to the bay leaves, and to the holy bhasma ash. You will be wholly indifferent to practice the right ways of living in the Vedas and to observe the path of knowledge, to practice restraint of sense and continence, to the daily practice of the sandhya, to performing the Agnihotra ceremonies, to the study of the Vedas according to one's sakha, or to the daily studies thereof, or to teach them, or to give as gifts cows or perform the shraddhas of the fathers. O vile Brahmanas, you are ready to do these mean things. You will have to suffer for this, that you will desist from worshipping the most adorable Sri Bhagavati Devi, and that you will worship the other devas with faith and devotion and hold on your bodies these sacred signs. You will follow heretics. You will sell your father, mother, brothers, sisters, and daughters, and even your wives too. You will sell the Vedas. You will not feel ashamed in any way to sell all of these. This is not to you only, but to the women and men, all that will come in your families. Let the Gayatri Devi be always indignant with you and let you all go in the end to the hells. Thus, taking the water symbolizing the true rules and laws of creation and cursing the Brahmanas, the Muni Gautama went hastily to see the Gayatri Devi, and on arriving at the temple there, bowed down to her. The Devi too became surprised to see their actions. O king, even today her lotus face looks similarly astonished. Then the Gayatri Devi told Gautama with amazement, O Gautama, the venom of the snake does not become less if you feed the serpent with milk. So never mind all these things. The karmas take their particular turns. It is hard to say when will happen what things. Now be peaceful. Do not be sorry. Hearing these words, the Devi Gautama bowed down to her and went thence to his own ashram. Here, on the other hand, the Brahmanas forgot everything due to the cause of Gautama, of the Vedas and Gayatri Mantra. They then began to look at this event with wonder, as unique and extraordinary. All united, they afterwards repented and, going before Gautama, fell prostrate at his feet, but they could not speak any word, only of shame. Only they said frequently, be pleased with us. When all the assembly of Brahmanas prayed to him for favor and grace, the Muni Gautama took pity on them and replied, my word will never turn out false. You will have to remain in the hell up to the time when Sri Krishna will take his incarnation. Then you will be born in the earth in the Kali age, and whatever I have uttered will exactly come unto you. And if you are earnest to avert my cause, then go and worship the lotus feet of Sri Gayatri Devi. There is no other remedy. Vyasa said, thus dismissing the Brahmanas, Gautama Muni thought that all these occurred as a result of karma, and he became calm and quiet. For this reason, after Sri Krishna Maharaja ascended to the heavens, when the Kali age came, those cursed Brahmanas got out of the hell and took their births in the earth as Brahmins, devoid of the three Sanyas, devoid of the devotion of Gayatri, devoid of faith in the Vedas, advocating the heretics' opinions, and unwilling to perform the Agnihotra and other religious sacrifices, and they were devoid of Swada and Swaha. They forgot entirely the unmanifest Mula Prakriti, Bhagavati. Some of them began to mark on their bodies various heretical signs. Many of them, though learned, became lewd and addicted to others' wives and engaged themselves in vain and bad activities. For these, they will have to go again surely to hell. So king, worship with your heart and soul Sri Bhagavati Parameshwari Devi. The worship of Vishnu or Shiva is not constant. Only the worship of the Divine Mother is to be constantly performed. Thus I have answered all your questions. Now I shall describe to you the highest and most beautiful place, Manidvipa, of the primal force, Bhagavati, the deliverer from the bondage of world. Listen. Here ends the 9th chapter of the 12th book on the cause of the Shraddha and other devas, the Devi Gayatri in the Mahapuranam Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Veda Vyasa. Jai Mahamaya ki jai, Vishveshwari Mata ki jai, Bole Baba ki jai.